this stock has managed to rise 20,000% in less than a year. Yet now I am looking for a trade setup here. And you may be thinking this is madness. How can we look for a trade setup within a stock where it has already pushed 20,000%? How can it push even higher? Especially after the correction from the top has taken it down over 60%. Well, this is not madness because it had built an initial 5-way move to the upside that tells us with high probabilities that after a 3-wave correction into its internal area of support, we would expect to complete at least another 5-way move to the upside. So today, I will share with you exactly that path. Welcome to the trade setup. And for this stock, this is actually the base of the entire trend. It has managed to form a new low within this correction. Yeah, this is an all-time low. And from these levels, I am tracking a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and the wave 3 would be nice to follow. Could be just a wave C, however. But in either case, from the levels of support for a wave 2, we expect continuation to higher prices within at least another 5-wave pattern, yeah? A wave 3 or a wave C. So we primarily expect from the region between $10.60 down to $1.20 to see the reversal. This setup might not make sense to everyone, but if we understand our expectations for the next move up, the picture starts to become more clear. Assuming the wave 2 fulfills only the minimum expectations, we get a 3-wave pattern into the 38.2% retracement. For a wave 3, the ideal target is the 138.2% extension of the wave 1, roughly $17,000. It's difficult to even say this without a little chuckle, but yeah, we would be looking at a 165,000% gain. It's absolute madness, ridiculous. Well, it doesn't need to do that in a straight line. It could take several years, maybe even a decade to materialize. And for example, even this wave 2 could easily extend into a year, maybe even a few years before it actually forms the bottom. This is a longer term setup. And it may not even reach those levels. It may form only a wave C, in which case the 100% extension is the ideal target, $2,200. It's starting to become a bit more realistic, but in either case, we are looking at extreme returns for very, very little investment in the case of this stock. Now, let's say it reaches the 78.6% retracement. We are looking at much more reasonable levels even. The ideal target for the wave 3, $2,000. The ideal target for the wave C, $260. I do not know where it will bottom. I do not know if it will even survive. But the nice opportunity here is that you do not need to bet the bank on it. Let's say it reaches the 38.2% retracement. Wherever this is within the area of support, the returns for every single share would be expected to be at least a 20x. You could invest maybe $10, and in a successful follow-through, you could easily stand to gain $200, yeah? Even if you maybe buy at a 38.2% retracement, it pushes down to the 78.6% retracement, maybe even a bit below it. Even then, it would still be looking to reach the ideal target for the wave C. That would be the minimum expectation, above $200. So this is certainly a very, very high-risk investment if you choose to make it. And for some people, it might not make any sense. But for some, looking to invest maybe $20 when it is at a 78.6% retracement would not make any difference. You might need to skip eating out once. And you could gain from that hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Then there is a third step, because as this correction will form, as it will decline to lower and lower prices, we will not know if the setup will survive. For some people, it might make sense to only look for a position once we see some stronger signs of a reversal, when it breaks, let's say, internal levels of resistance. Maybe it even takes out the previous stop within the wave B. Maybe that is at $30. It might still make sense to you to get just one share, fully understanding that losing that entire sum is a possibility. But it doesn't need to be a large sum, and it can prove quite beneficial. And this is a very long-term outlook. I'm not looking at this to become an opportunity this week, next week, and it might be a few months away, which is why today I won't even go into the smaller time frame. I will leave you, however, with a few levels of relevant structural support that you can look for a potential relief rally, where you can look maybe for an initial 5V move to the upside, and this would sit around $24. The lows it formed within this area, and it struggled to get through these levels previously, and then the levels of this correction within the wave 4. So we are talking about $17 down to, let's say, $15, maybe even $14. Around that region is where I would expect maybe the bottom of the wave A to form. It will be extremely unlikely that the correction will end there, but if it manages to form an initial 5 move to the upside within a very small time frame within that region, it may be interesting to look for an ABC pattern within a wave B at the very least. And for now I will stop here. If you want even more from me, even more updates, even more opportunities, you can check out the Patreon. But for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoy the content and want to support it directly, check out the channel membership, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.